It just happened. Without a script, without a cue. But anyone who witnessed it knew. There was something more than just a regular interaction on stage. Jungkook, the golden magne, stood there, and in an instant, showed a courage that made the fans' hearts skip a beat. Right in front of Taehyung. The stage that night was ablaze with spectacular lights, the thumping music shaking the hearts of thousands of fans. But nothing could match the sudden tension hanging in the air as Jungkook stared at Taehyung with eyes full of courage. That gaze wasn't just any gaze. It was a silent confession, filled with determination, courage, and perhaps a feeling too deep to put into words. It started as a small joke. A moment when Taehyung mentioned something that sparked laughter among the members and army at the venue. But Jungkook didn't laugh. Not that night. He just stared straight at Taehyung, as if to say, "I won't hide anymore." And Taehyung, Taehyung, just stayed silent. His face remained calm, but his eyes told a different story. There was a flash there, momentarily looking startled, then turning into something softer, more sincere. That secret gaze, a gaze only understood by the two of them. The fans, especially the Taekookers, immediately noticed it. The video of that moment spread like wildfire in the midst of a drought. Comments began to appear. Did you see Jungkook's eyes? He seemed like he wanted to say something to Taehyung. That wasn't just courage, it was a silent confession. Some even compared the moment to a clip from an old video, years ago when Jungkook and Taehyung still looked shy when looking at each other. But that night was different. Jungkook had grown up, and that boldness was clearly evident. After that moment, many noticed a change in the atmosphere. Taehyung seemed quieter than usual, occasionally glancing at Jungkook. And when the two stood side by side, their bodies almost touched, but they maintained a distance that sparked curiosity. Jungkook, on the other hand, was more confident than ever. In a backstage interview, when asked about his favorite moment that night, he simply replied, "There was one moment, but it's a secret." The sentence was thrown out casually, but the fans knew that was the code. And when the camera focused on Taehyung's face as he heard those words, his smile grew slowly. A smile that held too much meaning. Let's rewind for a moment. A few years ago, Jungkook was a shy boy who often looked down when speaking. Especially around Taehyung, he often looked awkward, fidgety, or even avoided eye contact for too long. But over time, something changed. Slowly, small steps toward maturity made Jungkook more assertive, more confident. And that night, everything he had been holding back seemed to explode. In one glance, one act of courage, 1 second that changed everything. Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all were flooded with video clips and screenshots of that Taekook moment. Some edits zoomed in on Jungkook's facial expressions, while others added dramatic slow motion as their eyes met. That gaze was too deep to be ignored. Taekook is real, and we all know it now. Even large fan site accounts shared their opinions. One wrote, "In a world full of noise, there is one quiet moment that says more than 1,000 words." Jungkook's gaze is a silent poem for Taehyung. Of course, many are speculating. Are they just close friends? Or is there something deeper, hidden behind their seemingly ordinary interactions? No one really knows. But one thing is certain. That moment left a mark on many people's hearts. Jungkook's courage that night not only showed his strength as an individual, but also showed how important Taehyung is to him. And Taehyung? He may not have said anything, but his gentle gaze was more than enough of an answer. The relationship between Taehyung and Jungkook has gone through various phases, from innocent laughter during their trainee days to an increasingly intense closeness on and off stage. In every era of BTS, there have been small moments that affirm how much they care for each other, understand each other, and look out for each other. They may not often express their closeness verbally, but their body language speaks volumes. From the way Jungkook glances at Taehyung in the crowd, to the way Taehyung responds with a subtle smile that only the two of them understand. Longtime fans even believe that their bond grows stronger each year. Every interaction feels deeper, more emotional, as if they are no longer just colleagues or ordinary friends. Many are convinced that behind the glances, spontaneous hugs, or even the silence between them lies an unbreakable bond. It may not be about labels, but about a feeling that grows and never fades. Even when they seem to keep their distance in public, whether due to rules, image, or industry pressure, there are subtle signals that feel more honest. A brief touch, an unintended smile, or exchanging glances when others aren't looking. And all of that is enough to make fans believe that the Taekook relationship isn't just a fan story, but a real connection that develops slowly, full of secrets, and perhaps very deep. In a world filled with packed schedules, extraordinary performances, and constant spotlight, sometimes the most precious moments come unexpectedly. One glance, 1 second, one act of courage from Jungkook, who has always seemed reserved. And for many, that moment is confirmation. Confirmation that there is something indescribable yet so real between them. Taekook isn't just about sweet moments. It's about two souls finding a safe place amidst the chaos of the world. Don't underestimate the power of a single glance, because sometimes that's where everything begins.